This video series is for farmers who are interested in transitioning from conventional farming to organic farming and exploring and learning about the different aspects of organic farming. This will include discussions with organic farmers and their organic system plans, OSP, as every organic farm is different. On a windy June day, we take you to a longtime organic farm near Linwood, Nebraska.
You've been an organic farmer much longer than I have. I'm kind of an older guy, but I just started doing this about 5 or 6 years ago, switched over to organic. But you've been at it much, much longer. So give us a little bit of that history.
Okay. The farm that we've been videoing today has been certified organic. I think it's close to 32 years. But my father never got into chemical farming, so he stopped using any chemicals on the farm in 1972. So I can't do the math in my head that quickly. But anyway, so we never got into the heavy use of chemicals here. I think Dad might have used some 2,4-D and maybe some type of Roundup for just a spot spray type thing. And I remember putting something like diazinon in the planter in that compartment there, and just smelling that about knocked me out. And so I think things like that, you know, made my dad concerned about just us handling all these products, let alone putting it into the soil and so on. So basically, we never changed our way of farming. We always had a multi-crop rotation here. We were corn, soybeans, small grains of some kind, wheat or oats, alfalfa. Dad always had a few animals around the place, maybe some cattle, some sheep, that type of thing. And so the farm didn't have to go through any transition when we found out that we could be organic. And that was about the time I was graduating from college. I've got a degree in ag economics, and I'm one of the poorest economic guys around here. But anyway, so then I wanted to come back and farm with them. And so he was just looking into being certified organic. So when I came back, I was, working with him, and so we got into it and just
transition.
We just kept going. Basically we didn't make any changes. We were just doing. The one nice thing though, that when we first started, we didn't have the equipment that we have today. So we were struggling with weed control, those type of things, like rotary hose and things at that time were not very good. The cultivators were not very good. We tried ridge tilling for a while, but we found that didn't work very well. So anything, we were always trying something. But as some of these pieces of equipment, improved in quality and this and that and things that we could afford, it's been, you could say easy and not easy, but it's been make it doable for me to farm this place organically and do a little better job. At some point too, we're probably going to take a look at the flamer. That's a nice piece of equipment for helping control weeds versus any type of tillage. So there's always things, coming on, and you find out, you try something, it doesn't work, and you can do something different the next year. But it is so much nicer now with a lot of the equipment that we have. Plus there's also some of the seed and things and so on are now organic, and it seemed like they do better in organic situations than some of the other things that we used in the past. So
there's more seed available?
There's more seed available. One of the biggest problems we had when we first were certified organic was, where do you sell your stuff to get that organic price? We had a very difficult time.
Were a big issue.
The markets have developed to where we couldn't find anybody. Now I have people, contacting me, wondering what I'm going to do with my crop, that type of thing. So it's nice. It's nice. Yes. You don't have to go try and find somebody. So the markets have developed. I sometimes feel, sometimes the markets have gotten maybe a little too high, and that's hurt us. And like right now, things are kind of depressed. So I'm not sure where that's going to take us to. So, but the marketing has gotten easier. Plus we have just from 30 years of experience, we're doing fairly well. So I guess one thing that I've noticed trend in organic farming. There were a lot of guys that gave it a try, but I always questioned what was their motive, and many times it was just the financial part of it.
Yep.
So even though they were, quote, farming organically, I would see their practices and what they were doing. Their heart really wasn't into it. Like a lot of guys would not be willing to put the ground aside like I'm doing, into a green manure. They want to farm every acre that they can. And I understand, sometimes you gotta make money. So I felt early on in those, 30 some years ago, most of the guys that were organic were looking for a better market, but they also believed more in the system, taking care of the soil and everything.
So you have a healthy soil.
A healthy soil, right. And then I'm even seeing things now, and maybe I'm way ahead of the game, I'm seeing more articles about regenerative farming, and the guys are talking about putting in cover crops and doing this and doing that, and I'm going, I've been doing that for 30 some years. So now
that.
I'm organic and regenerative. But anyway, but that's a plus. If guys are taking more interest in their soil health, that's good, even if they're still using some chemicals, that type of deal. But so I've seen that kind of come and go. A lot of guys came in, dropped out because it was a lot of work, and you couldn't just call up the co-op and have them come spray your crop. You had to be out there. And
we could, if commercial prices go up, we could lose some organic farmers.
Yes, we could. I've actually seen we have lost some organic farmers because of the drop in organic prices. And sad to say, one of my neighbors who farms just west of me now, I've got to worry about drift from him again. He's dropped out because the prices have dropped down. So
it's a combination of all kinds of things.
Yes.
But from what we're talking here, you're always going to be organic.
I'm always going to be organic. Even if there wasn't an organic market, I would be pretty much farming this way. I don't even know if I had a particular weed problem, if I would, use chemicals or not. I just don't believe it. I don't want to expose myself to it. I want to do it to the soil. Some of the things I mentioned earlier was like, I've got all these things that are blooming on the farm and I'm not seeing very many pollinators. That tells me that our system is getting out of balance here. So, but I'm doing what I can to help those little critters, but that means that so much of the other things around us are harming them. And are people going to take advantage or take notice of that and make changes? I kind of doubt it. I'm committed to this. I'm just sorry that I don't have somebody coming in behind me. None of my children care to farm, and I haven't found anybody that wants to work in this. Plus, the size of my operation is rather small, and I struggle myself, so it's hard to bring in
I think that's what we'll find, though. Organic farmers are smaller farmers.
Yes.
I mean, that's typically the way it is. And our recommendation to getting into organics is try it. Try a field.
Try a few acres.
Try a few acres. Try to get in. And not try to do it all at once. And you have that mindset where it takes you 3 years to transition, but 7 years after that to actually to get it in your head.
Into your head, exactly. So see, that's why some of these guys that jumped in the last few years, well, they could do it. They could use organic seed and no fertilizers or whatever they were doing, but it never. Yeah, they got the soil transitioned to where it's organic, but they didn't get themselves transitioned to being an organic producer. So. But like I say, I'm kind of sad to see, or I'm concerned about what will happen with this place after I have to retire or pass on. I don't know, maybe something good will still happen, but right now it doesn't look very promising. So, and I hate to see this ground have to be chemicalized.
Thank you.
Yes.
Funding for this video was provided by the Transition to Organic Partnership Program and produced by Organic Crop Improvement Association, OCIA, Nebraska, chapter members.